Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Shred Sessions. I'm here at the Vinyl Lounge. Today we've got the Nashville Hardcore and Tattoo Fest put on by NewJack, Cody, Bad World Booking, and I'm here with Matty Arsenault, the vocalist from the band A Loss for Words, and we're going to be talking about his career. And Matty, thanks for hanging with me, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I'm from Boston, but I live out in Nashville too, so it's cool, just to get acquainted with more of the people out here. So thanks for having me.
Of course, man. This is exciting. So, like, how long have you known NewJack for? How did you guys get acquainted? I know he's just off camera here.
He's right over there. He's looking NewJack as fuck right now.
How long have you been in Nashville for? What made you want to move down here?
Yeah, so I've been coming to Nashville for years. Actually, I got this right here to show you. This is one of our first shows. Shout out to X Chase, the original fucking promoter out here that was doing that shit. But we played with Down to Nothing in a band called The Homefront, which was members of Ghost Inside and Guns Up and stuff like that. But so I've been coming here since 2006, but I moved down here 4 years ago now. I think going on 5. And I met NewJack 3 years ago. Roughly about 3 years ago. Had a lot of mutual friends, so the thing about hardcore is you're already connected. When someone vouches for someone, so it's you don't have to. I'm not trying to make any new friends. I just love people and whatever. But we ended up getting really close. And here I am. We out here.
That's awesome, man. So, dude, I saw a couple weeks ago you went to Furnace Fest.
Yep.
I was there as well doing some interviews. Has A Loss for Words ever played Furnace Fest in the past?
No, and if you guys want to have us, fucking come get us, man. What's up? We actually, but I do a backstage barbershop called Out of the Hand Collective, and they've had us every year, since they've come back. So
you're cutting.
Thank you,
there?
Furnace Fest. But if you want to have my real band, fucking come on, say what's up. $10,000. We'll call it a deal.
$10,000.
Nah, shout out Furnace Fest though. They do some cool shit.
Yeah, it's a great fest. It's a big deal here in the Southeast. It's kind of a throwback fest, but I think what they're trying to do is get more of the younger bands involved. I think they have to, to keep it alive.
That's how it works. But they do good with getting the throwback band. So yeah, Furnace Fest holding down. Shout out Furnace Fest.
So before Furnace Fest, I think this was maybe in September, A Loss for Words played a show in Worcester with Ice Nine Kills, Dayseeker, and The Funeral Portrait.
Which is the most random fucking show.
It's pretty random.
Ever. So long story short, A Loss for Words we've always played with anybody. Hardcore bands, pop punk bands, fucking metal bands, ska bands. Whatever, rappers, whatever. So Spencer from Ice Nine Kills, we go back. He's from Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So A Loss for Words, 4 Year Strong, Ice Nine Kills. We used to play high school battle of the bands together in 2001, 2002. So basically, Spencer saw that we were coming back. It's our 25th year of being a band. I mean, obviously we're not active touring full time anymore, but he saw that we were putting stuff out, and he's like, "Yo, you guys want to play our show at the DCU Center, which is a 6,000 cap room." And that was, maybe one of the biggest shows we played that wasn't a festival.
Yeah.
So shout out Spencer.
Yeah.
He's doing a really cool thing, man. We might be different genres, but Spencer's a good-ass dude. He does a lot for, the horror world. And, he's killing it, man. So, Spencer, shout out to you, dog.
Dude, take us back to the beginning, with your career. You're a kid that grew up just south of Boston, right?
Mm-hmm.
In that kind of south side scene. What made you want to be a vocalist, man? What made you want to play punk rock music?
Yeah, so basically that's a two-part question. So basically, I got into singing. When I was younger, there was a group called Shy. It's a song. And if I ever so it was like a quartet kind of group. But my mom was friends with one of the singers' moms, and when I was younger, we used to kick it, and I used to hear them sing and practice a little bit. So it kind of got me into singing, and then I joined chorus and stuff like that, and I eventually quit chorus because I went through that whole oh shit, I gotta be cool, everybody goes that phase, so I quit. But then I ended up going back to my my high school choir teacher, and got lessons with him, but. How it transformed into R&B into punk is I used to work at a pizza shop called Louis Pizza, and this kid Chris Ranahan, him and my boy Poopa, who passed away, rest in peace Poopa. But they used to skateboard around, and then my homie was like, "Yo, take my CD booklet back to your house and fucking just jam it out." You know what I mean? He's like, "I love the hip hop you listen to, but check this shit out." So then I remember Newfound Glory, Nothing Gold Can Stay was one of the first things, and I heard that, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. And then I put in Saves a Day, Through Being Cool.
Oh, yeah, man.
Alkaline Trio, From Here to Infirmary. Punkorama 5, which I found like Melancholy, Bad Religion, No Effects, Propaganda, Strung Out, Agnostic Front, Sick of It All, like all those bands. And I was like, cool. So I got a skateboard, and I was kind of like the hip hop kid, kind of transforming into punk, skateboarding with all them. And then I joined their little crew, like the little skateboard crew that you know, I have that shit tattooed on my lip forever. But yeah, that's kind of how I transformed, and kind of, you know, wanted to start a band. My friend was in a hardcore band and was like, yo, I want to do pop punk. And we started at 9th grade.
Wow, man. Like, pop punk, it's been through up and down cycles, man. What was that like, playing shows in like the 2000s and then the 2010s? Like, you guys are still putting out records and stuff, but like, how was it at the beginning, and how do you feel like pop punk is now?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously when, you know, I was getting into the pop punk scene, like, see, the pop punk and hardcore world has always been pretty adjacent to a certain degree. There's obviously, you know, things that branch off, but there's also things that kind of meet in the middle. So like when we grew up, we were playing, like, our first show was a hardcore show. We played with Death for Dishonor and Back of the Neck, stuff like that. But because we grew up with all these kids, so like it wasn't like you're in this band, you're in this band. Obviously they all made, like, you know, like, oh, you fucking pussy, you know, whatever. But like it was all fun, and we used to play with them, man. And then we grew up in the Brockton hardcore scene. So actually our first record deal was at Rock Vegas Records, which was like Alpha and Omega, Shere Khan of Arabia, Cutthroat, you know, Shoot to Kill, whatever, the list goes on. But yeah, man, we kind of grew up playing these hardcore shows. People were getting their fucking faces smashed in all the time and shit like that. But like, you know, I remember my basketball team came and they all got beat up, and my other friends like, yo, everybody chill. And then, you know, but it was cool. We were pretty blessed to grow up the way we did, and, you know, all the older hardcore kids, you know, looked out for us and treated us like little brothers.
That's cool, man. So they were like pretty open to a loss for words when you guys started playing and stuff.
Yeah,
like that?
because we grew up with like we grew up with all these kids. So it wasn't like we were like some band that like tried to like, hey guys, we want a show. It was kind of like, hey, we have this band. They're like, all right, you guys can play this show. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but like it'll be cool. Yeah. And then it like made sense. Right. Kind of.
You make it make sense.
Yeah. Like it, and it was more of the friends, and, you know, it was cool. So we were blessed to have the come up that we did.
That's amazing. I mean, that's been a theme on the Shred Sessions podcast. People like ask like, how do I play with more hardcore bands? How do I, you know, how does
you just fucking do it?
How do we do multiple genre shows? And, you know, Cody was saying on the last episode, like, I book bands that are familiar faces that come to the shows that I put on. So it's about being a familiar face and coming out to things like this. You know, and you
got to show face to get involved. You can't just only show up when you're playing the show. You got to fucking pull up, support the other people, buy shit from other people, post about other people. It's not just get that show that you want and fucking go hang out with your friends. You got to fucking be part of the community. It's very important.
So you guys have a new like 2-song EP that came out like in October here. Yeah, a couple weeks ago. It's called These Past 25 Years. There's 2 songs. One's called The Night, and then Weird Motivation, which I love that song, man. How did that EP come together? Those are brand new A Loss for Words songs, right?
Yeah, so like we stopped like being active, I'd say 10-ish years ago, whatever, like full-time touring and stuff, but we're also best friends. So there's never been, like, we retired, we didn't break up, and that's why we come back and do shows, because we do what we do, you know, do what we want to do. But like these songs, you know, so we had a record called These Past 5 Years. That was the one we signed to Rock Vegas Records. Gotcha. So this was kind of a play on that. These past 25 years. So it's kind of a throwback to all the, you know, people that support us back in the day. And like the record, the vinyl, is done by this dude Seth from Negative Progression Records, which is just a label that when we were younger we listened to some of the bands that was on there, and he was like, yo, I'll throw you guys bread if you guys go on the street. We're like, yeah, say no more. We'll do it. So yeah, the songs are cool too. They're like, one's a little bit more like on like, you know, the pop punky side, and then one's more of like a ballad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but yeah, man, it's cool. Yeah, I'm glad that we did that. It was cool.
The new tunes are sweet. And before that, earlier this summer, you guys put out more of like a full-length record called Odds and Ends.
Yeah, that was, see, Mikey, I already said this, but fuck you
demos,
for putting that. Yeah. One day, Mikey was just like, I was like, yo, why are people reposting all this music? He didn't even ask any of us. It's just all the B-sides that we never put out. Mikey, who's the person I hate and love the most in the whole wide world. We fist fought each other 4 times. That's how much we love each other. But yeah, man, he just like posted it up, and we're like, yeah, were you gonna ask us? I mean, like some of those songs I don't wish anybody heard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's cool, and I'm glad he did it.
Yeah.
And you know, it was, you know, at the end of the, like, we're all kind of laughing, like, all right, cool. But
Sweet.
yeah, that was that's like some of those songs were recorded in like 2001. You know what I mean?
Wow, dude.
Yeah,
so it's old songs, and then are there some new stuff too?
Not on that one.
Okay.
There isn't any new stuff, but there's like B-sides from over the years.
Yeah,
too,
it's like fan favorites, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, just like some of the stuff that we never released official. So
Gotcha,
now it's out there,
man.
I guess.
Yeah, I listened to that earlier today, man, and there's some cool tunes on there, and like I'm just amazed by your singing, man. Like you're so melodic, and I can hear some of that R&B stuff in your vocal lines. Like there's a lot of, you're not just a lot of pop punk vocalists just kind of hold the note out, but you're doing a lot of vibrato and like almost like, I want to say like black gospel type stuff.
That's why I got my Boys to Men shirt, motherfucker. What's up? Shout out Boys to Men.
This dude can sing. It's unbelievable. So you have a new book coming out called Just South of Boston.
You guys, I brought that shit.
Yeah, you can get a copy of this book at justsouthofboston.com. It's pretty easy to remember that, right? So talk about why you wanted to write a book, man.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been someone who just like I just got to stay busy, you know. I struggle with a lot of like mental health, like we all do, you know what I'm saying? It's not like feel bad for me that like, but you know, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression. So like, and I'm very blessed to have a great support system and a group of friends around me. You know, but like I need to keep my head fucking busy, or I drive myself crazy. My brain is a tornado. So like right now, even though I'm talking to you, I'm like thinking of what I'm doing next week. I'm thinking about writing a movie next. Like so my brain is just thinking about many things at once. But this specific thing, I got locked up I went to prison in Japan like 8 years ago now. And when I was in there, I started writing a lot because I had no alcohol or drugs to numb the pain. So I really just had to grab the pen and put it to the paper. And so I started writing the book when I was in prison. And then, when I got out, I kind of pushed it aside because it was like, holy fuck, like I'm out.
Yeah.
Back to normal life, whatever. And then about 3 years ago, my friend Ross Wilson, he's a Glasgow, Scotland hardcore kid that I've known for a long time. Mm-hmm. He's come to all our shows. He's a family guy now. He doesn't drink anymore. He's been writing books. He does a lot of like fantasy novels and stuff. And he was like, yo, let me help you because I'm like dyslexic. Everything is just one sentence with like exclamation
You do talk
points.
really fast, bro.
Oh, I talk fast, and this is
like
not on drugs. You know what I mean? But like, so the thing is, he kind of helped me put it all together. Yeah, man, I'm super proud of it. We put a lot of work into this, and there's a lot of cool things. Like even like the cover art is the dude who does all the Japanese hardcore flyers and flyer, shutter and flyer.
Damn.
So he used to do like so like
I'm gonna hold this up while you're talking about it.
Check it out. Yeah. So N Flyer did the artwork, which is really cool, and I do have an alternative book that actually is almost sold out now. I did 250, but it's a picture of me and my family.
I saw that.
And my niece has autism, so you'll notice we're all wearing the same. It's like a family shirt.
Cool.
I think that's cool because people try to be all cool and this and that, and I think that's a cool family photo because it's for her. Mm-hmm. Adele, like my niece Adele, and like she, and my sister she picked the colors, and so that's almost sold out. But yeah, so the whole book is about my story, having flashbacks of how I grew up, just south of Boston. My tour stories, going to Russia, going to Europe, and, getting in fights, getting beat up, doing crazy shit, eating food off fucking... We go to the mall and eat people's leftover food when we were younger and, like, have fun. It was just fun, man. Touring was fun. Sleeping in people's houses and fucking stealing their toilet paper and their tuna fish cans and their peanut butter and jelly just so we could, eat on the road. Sorry to all those people. We didn't steal anything crazy, just what we needed.
Wow, man. Yeah, this is... Like, it's not easy to write a book. I think people have an idea, in their head, oh, I could write this book. But actually doing it, like, I'm sure the process, what was the process like of putting this together,
so a lot
man?
of it was like, I would send voice notes of just stuff, and that's how we went through, and then we broke it down each chapter, and then he'd ask me questions, and I sent him back, and then he'd write it, and then I flew to Scotland a couple times, and we'd sit there and go over it and nitpick it, and it was like a 3-year process. I mean, obviously... we have other things in our lives going on, but I mean, the thing is now, like, I've been having a lot of like anxiety and stuff about it because, like, being vulnerable, and I keep this pretty PG-13. Like, I leave a lot of some real ass shit is not in there because it just it is not, it just is what it is. But
yeah,
it also is just like a lot of trauma,
mm-hmm.
a lot of like, so like I'm excited for people to read it, and I think people will understand me a little more. But it's like therapy, but it's also like, you know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Did you feel like more memories came up when you started this process, like things that maybe you forgot about, but when you started to like kind of go down memory lane, like things started popping up?
Yeah, I mean, I think that things kind of like for the book, I think a lot of the stuff is like kind of the main stuff. There's a lot of like fillers and stuff. Like I'll probably do another book in the future called Sorry Mom, and I'll probably just have a bunch of like war stories.
Yeah.
Of just like this is like who I am. So people that don't know me, or some people who just know me a little bit, or know me from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They grew up on that side. Someone that knows me from the hardcore side, they're gonna like so. But I think this kind of gives everybody like who I am and why I am who I am.
Yeah.
That makes sense, you know?
No, that's cool, man. So when I think of like South Boston and stuff like that, I think of the movie Good Will Hunting.
Great. That's
how accurate is that film, bro?
Okay, I love that you said that. I love that you picked that one. I mean, I love The Town. I love Mystic River. I love Departed and shit like that. But like Good Will Hunting is one of my favorites. Robin Williams is one of my favorite actors of all time, and he struggled with a lot of mental health. And I think that when you look at his stuff now, you see like he's really like you know what I mean? When he's
intense.
He's just fucking. He's awesome. Matt Damon's awesome, you know, Ben Affleck, all like it is pretty like when they were doing like, you know, when they were playing basketball in the streets and shit like that, like I think that it's like really accurate. I mean, my cousins grew up in South Boston and stuff. I didn't personally, but my family is from South Boston, and I've been beat up in South Boston. I have a whole chapter about getting my first fight and pushing and getting smoked by fucking kids from a different neighborhood, but that's not where I grew up.
Yeah.
But I do know people that grew up there, and from what I experienced when I was younger, that, you know, some of the scenes are pretty accurate, you know, and I think that's a really cool movie. It just, you know, that's one of my favorite. It's one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, me too, man. It's a great film. I mean, I think like back in the day, it seems like people just worked out their problems with like a good old fist fight.
Yes.
And now people just shoot each other, which I think is like
shitty,
I mean,
it's
ending someone's life.
Yeah, no,
instead of just beating the shit out of them.
Yeah. Just do it the old Irish way and just fucking shoot the ones. You know what I mean? Get it over with and then pick the other guy up. Unless he did something really bad, then fucking shoot him.
Yeah. And, you know, before we started the interview, you were talking about how much it's changed. Like, what was South Boston like when you were coming up in the hardcore scene, and what is it like today, man?
Yeah, so I mean, like that's a double-sided question, because obviously Boston hardcore is more like, you know, kind of like, you know, we used to be the ICC church, and like this is my era. Obviously, there's older heads that had, you know, different places. Obviously, Lansdowne Street. I came up right after that, but the infamous Bill's Bar, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, man. So when I came up, it was just cool. Like there was no cell phone pictures, so I got to like experience like there'd only be, you know, Return to the Pit, or, you know, one of those fucking
like a zine
Eye
or
of the
something?
Storm. No, like the photographers. There's only like two or three. Future Breed. There was like, yo, you were in there, bro. Like fucking shit happened, bro. Like shit that fucking people got smoked. People got fucking, you know, whatever. And also people were just having fun.
Yeah.
No, everybody was talking to each other. No one was on their fucking phone and this and that. And like, I'm really glad I got to experience that. Like. I don't know, man. It just was different. I'm glad I got to see it. And also, you know, the new generation is cool and they have their thing, and it is cool because the bands get, you know, free promotion from, you know, from that stuff. So there's positive sides of it too. But I'm glad that I grew up in an era where you actually were at the show, and, you know, texting came through at some point. But, you know, when I first started going, like cell phones weren't like.
You're fully present, right?
Yeah, you're fully present.
The point is to be at the show and engage with the people around you, you know, and have conversations, right? And if there's one thing that this cell phone era has done, is it isolates people.
It does, you know? and it makes people, you know, whatever. Everything has its positives and negatives, but I will say, like, you know, hardcore, when I was coming up, the North Shore had their thing, like Guns Up, Shipwreck, Have Heart, I Rise. I Rise was from Worcester, but whatever. But like, and then you had Brockton, you had like Death for Dishonor, you had fucking Con of Arabia, you know, A Loss for Words, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, man, it was cool. It was a little bit of a division, but also when the Boston came, like, so when a Boston show happened, you had the North Shore kids come down, you had the Worcester kids, you had the South Shore kids, you know, Western Mass kids, but like that's when like shit got, because like everybody had their own little, you know, we're all young, had their little groups.
Gotta look out for each other.
As time went on, everybody started becoming friends. You know what I mean? But there was always a little, like, you know, a little animosity. But, you know, as time goes, like someone makes friends with someone, and then it all blends in again.
And just kind of playing off of that, like, you've been in Nashville for a few years now. How is Nashville hardcore different from Boston hardcore, or is the ethos just the same kind of throughout?
I mean, so to be honest with you, right? I'm so busy with work and things. Like, I was very, very active. Like, coming up when I was younger, all I did was go to shows every fucking, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it was a fucking 10-person show or a fucking 1,000-person show. I don't have a chance to go to them as much, but like, it's cool. Like, I'm here this weekend, and you know, obviously I'm proud of Cody, and you know, everybody that's like putting this together. So like, I was like, cool, I'll be there, and I'm excited, and I've been getting to go to a couple shows, and I think Nashville has a really cool thing. I think that there's a good community where I see everybody like working together and doing cool shit. And it's, you know, it's the younger generation, so I'm kind of just letting them do their thing, and I'm watching, and I'm here to support them. You know what I mean? I had my time where someone supported me and let me be young and wild. Like, I'm not going to no fucking pit. I'm not fucking, you know, whatever. Like, I'm letting them let them get wild. And if, you know, they get in a little fight, I'll let it happen outside and make sure no one gets hurt really bad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Obviously, you know, it just like, I'm letting them have their fun. This is now the torch has been passed to them.
Wow, man. Yeah, it's cool to see the young kids, you know, doing, you know, starting new bands, booking shows, and they're crushing it, man. Like, so yeah, and I think it's awesome that you're a part of the scene. You came out today, man, and it's super sick.
Yep.
I kind of already asked you about being imprisoned in Japan, but like, how can you explain like how that happened? Like, was the band there touring?
So
or?
I was gonna be. I used to manage, and I still work with them, but not as, you know, on a level I did before. But I've been to Japan probably 8 times before I got arrested out there. I kind of knew a lot of people and had fun, so I used to go over there early to kick it with my homies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, long story short, I went over a couple days early. I was there for a whole total of 10 hours. I ended up beating someone up because he hit a girl, and then I had cocaine on me. And yeah, so, you know, it wasn't the fight that even got me in trouble. It was the cocaine.
Were you like on a surveillance camera or something like that, and they found you?
So basically, what it was is I came running out of the alley. So kind of, you know, like, you know, it was like fucking 3:34 in the morning. A little suspicious, you know what I'm saying? And I got stopped, and they just like kind of like dug in my pocket and, you know, whatever, and that was that. And you know, I've lived a certain lifestyle for a long time, and you know, I got caught, and fucking it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, like, you know what I mean? And I don't regret anything. And obviously it sucked, but obviously, you know, I wrote a book from it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I always try to find the positive out of the negative, because if you and obviously I have a lot of my, you know, shit that goes on in my head, but like, if you just fucking sit there and feel sorry for yourself, what the fuck is that? So I went in there and I started writing, and I was writing, you know, short stories, and I was, you know, writing letters to all my friends, and I was making music in there. I was like banging on fucking, you know, walls and things like that, and making percussion sounds so I could like sing over it and stuff. So I found a way.
Wow.
But the thing that fucked me up was I did solitary confinement for 44 days.
Wow,
so being trapped
dude.
by myself for that long, that kind of changed me a lot.
It's not good for
actually.
anybody, man.
No. So that's why I'm a little different. Like, I have like whispering problems and stuff now. You know, and it is what it is. It's something I have to just deal with, and something I'm trying to navigate through. But you know, that's why I like to be around people, music, and you know, all that stuff. So, yep, that's my little story.
Wow, man. Yeah, and you can
obviously
read more.
you can read.
Yeah.
And there's like different parts of it, but the whole thing isn't about the prison thing. The prison thing's just a short part of what it is.
Exactly.
Like, cause people like, it's not cool to go to prison and get locked up. People make it seem like it's some fucking fantasy.
Right.
You know, it's not cool. It just is what it is. It would happen, and it was something that, you know what I mean? I took the good from it, but yeah, it happened, and it helped me write this book.
Amazing, man. Yeah, like, get a copy of this book, just south of Boston.com. It's pretty easy to locate on the internet. There's a couple different versions, although the other cover is, I think, maybe sold out or close to selling out.
I think there's like 10 of those left.
Yeah, man, I'm going to have to snag one.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's coming up for the rest of the year for you, man, and for A Loss for Words. On November 7th and 8th, you guys are playing a 25th anniversary show. And I believe it's an acoustic set, right?
So there's 2 shows. So
Okay.
it's like the first night I'm calling my book release, but it's Vinny from the Movie Life, who is our like fucking Vinny from the Movie Life. I am the Avalanche. You know what time it is, Vinny. You're my motherfucking dog. He was the first one to write me a letter in prison, actually.
Oh, that's so
he was
good.
on tour because we were on Ice Grills out there. We were like the first band to get signed to Ice Grills, the record label out there that Story So Far and everybody's on.
Yeah, man.
But so I am the Avalanche was out there on tour, and Vinny heard that I got locked up. So Vinny sent me a letter, and yeah. So Vinny's playing Zach from Man Overboard. Frankie that plays in Wisdom and Chains is doing an acoustic set. He was in Death for Dishonor too. My boy Willin and his girl Matty, they have a project. So that'll be the first night. Then I'm doing an R&B night. A bunch of like my homies that like spin R&B and shit. We're gonna do like a '90s R&B thing after.
Sick,
kind of
man.
making my shit. And then the next day, it's a band that I manage called Millington, awesome ska band out of upstate New York. This band called the Rins. Hazel Bloom. Yeah, man, it's gonna be fucking awesome. So it's gonna be a great weekend. And then we have For the Children. Austin from Haywire is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, dude.
He
Haywire's
hit us
sick.
up, and they just announced On Broken Wings and A Lost for Words last week.
Oh, On Broken Wings rules. I saw them at Furnace Fest.
Yeah,
Damn.
we go way back with them too, like John Blake and all them. Those are some of our older friends, from the South Shore. Our guitar player and drummer grew up with them. They're from the same town.
Cool, man.
So For the Children, great thing. Nate from Zabalba, like great friend of mine that's been putting this together, doing
Killer
good things for
band.
the community. And so we have that, and then we're playing Warp Tour down in Orlando. That's going to be like our big 25th anniversary celebration. And then I got a wedding and holidays, so I got a busy rest of the year. So
cool,
it's gonna be
man.
Cool.
Yeah. Where does that show on November 7th and 8th? Where does that take place at?
So it's actually at Gillette Stadium where the Patriots play. There's like a village of bars around it, and our friend manages an axe throwing place.
Okay.
So we've been doing events there, and that's where I'm running my podcast out of. It's cool because it's at where the Patriots play. Like literally, it's one of the bars like that surround it. So
easy to locate.
DIY. We built our own stage. We're doing our own sound. You know what I mean? We're doing it all ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels good. We could have done the easy route and done like a venue that would facilitate it, but we're like, fuck it, let's make it more complicated and build a stage and all the stuff. So yeah, we're stoked. Yeah, we're stoked.
Sometimes shows have a different feel when you do them at a different spot. Like when you kind of stray from the path a little bit, so to speak. And
shout out Stray from the Path.
Yeah, shout out Stray from the Path for sure. I heard they're breaking up, man.
Yeah, I was hanging with Drew at Furnace Fest. Yeah. I love those guys.
I fixed up Tom's guitar years ago.
Oh, cool.
He's a great guy.
Tom's a great guy too.
Man, just a couple more questions. What advice do you have for kids that want to play in a band in 2025? If you could share any wisdom.
That sounds scary. For those of you trying to do a band in 2025, I'd say, man, just be dedicated to your instrument. You don't have to be the best at what you play. You got to love what you play. Some of it's about like how you perform on stage or whatever, but it's finding people that have a like mind as you and have the same vision, and just fucking love it, man. Like life's too short, and don't get caught up in the fucking corporate bullshit and all that. Like go have fun with your friends, fucking see shit, fuck money, fuck all that bullshit. That's not what this is about. If you get there, that's fucking awesome, and I bless everybody. Like Turnstiles and fucking all those bands that are making money. I'm so proud of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool when you make money, but also just get out there, have fun, man. Fucking wreck shit. Fucking, make some new kid that just walked in for his first show, fucking give him a free shirt and make him fucking be part of this shit. Look out for him. There's a lot more to this. Go travel, man. Fucking, drive out to the West Coast and play a couple shows, and if that's the biggest thing you did with your band, that's fucking cool. Some people don't even get to leave their fucking state. So just have fun. That's what this is all about. Having fun.
Great advice, dude. That's great. Okay, one final question, probably the most important question. Where can people find the best pizza in Boston?
Well, so we have a style of pizza in Massachusetts called South Shore bar style pizza. It's like barroom pizzas. So I'm biased because it's my pretty much my big brother, but Ryan Packer and my boy Truth own a bar called the Dipper Cafe, and their fucking pizza's awesome, and they worked really hard at their craft. So I shout out them. I love Venus Pizza. I love Town Spa. Their buffalo chicken's fucking great. But yeah, man, I can't wait to get home and get some pizza now that you say that. Fuck, man, why'd you bring that up?
Man,
now I want some fucking pizza, but not around here. I want my pizza.
I know, man. I know. We've got kind of the New Jersey, New York style here now. There's a place in Nashville called Show Pizza Bar that's really good. There's Dicey's. I grew up in Chicago, so I'm down with the tavern style.
I just was out in Chicago for the Madball Integrity Strife show.
Sick, man. Sick.
And we went to that place with the G whatever the deep dish
Giordano's.
Thing. Yeah. I know people. I know that's probably like the touristy spot.
It is, but that's okay. It was
good
so good,
man. I put down 2, and I felt like I ate like 2 fucking full pizzas.
Most people can't eat more than 2 slices.
I couldn't.
It's
I thought about the third one, but that would have been
basically
the
a casserole. So
yes.
Well, bro, I can't thank you enough for hanging, man. This is great.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Guys, thanks for watching Shred Sessions. Check out the book, Just South of Boston. Follow Matty on social media. and go check out those shows if you're in the area in November 7th and 8th. So peace, and thanks for watching.
Thank you guys very much.